they throw him back like a key to a skeptic, and the bills start nibbling through the...
Hello again. I don't usually do too many book hauls because frankly I'm broke as a joke, but I did manage to pick up some extra books from the thrift store. And plus another reason I don't do too many book hauls is because I just have so many books to read, and I pick up a lot of books I want to read from the library, because if I can, unless I really, really like a book, then I'll buy a copy for myself to shelf and then reread again and again. The first couple of books I'm going to show you are books that are now films, and I have seen the films, but I have yet to read the books. First up we have Stephen King's Dreamcatcher. I have seen this film, and I did not realize that it was such a thick paperback. I really liked the film, and I had never read the book. I stopped reading Stephen King, like when he wrote 4 Past Midnight, I think was the last book that I had read by him, like many years ago. So I'm just starting to get back into reading Stephen King, mostly because of Bunny Cates, because, she's such a huge Stephen King fan that it's kind of re-sparked my interest in Stephen King. So I'm looking forward to reading that. The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is one that I had seen the film, but it's a classic and I've never read it, but everybody's talking about it, so when I saw a copy of this at the thrift store, I was like, I think I'm going to pick up that book, and I'd love to read that someday. It does have assorted, tales from Oscar Wilde. It depends on how much I like the main story, The Picture of Dorian Gray. If I like that, then I may read the short stories that come along with it. If I don't, then I probably won't finish the rest of the book. I won't read the short stories. Which brings me to the point, a lot of classics, some classics, honestly, in my opinion, the films were much better than the books themselves, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I just felt that the film, TV adaptations were much better than the book. I just really didn't get into the book all that much. I mean, and I've never read anything else by Stevenson, so I never read Treasure Island and all that. The Neverending Story by Michael Ende. I didn't know that this was based on a book. I remember the film from the 80s when I was a kid. I really liked that story, and I didn't know that it was in a different language. I don't know which language it is because it says it was translated by someone else. So that would definitely be an interesting fantasy read. I also picked up the 3rd book in the Sleeping Beauty trilogy, Beauties Release by Anne Rice. She wrote these books under a pen name, and after reading the 1st and 2nd volumes, I could see why she did that. They are kind of controversial. They're very graphic in sexual nature. If you've never read them before, I just had to throw that out there with that warning that they are very explicit. I was very shocked after reading the 1st volume because she just pushes the boundaries with... She must be very, very comfortable with her sexuality. She must be one crazy lady. Because, yeah, I mean, anything and everything you can imagine, but it's mostly centered around S&M, like bondage and spanking and stuff. So, and I think she wrote another book about that type of stuff in her Exit to Eden. But yeah, I thought I wasn't going to finish out the trilogy because I was kind of I really, don't like this stuff, but it's got to be OCD or something, and I saw the 3rd book, and I was like, yeah, I'll just finish out the trilogy, I guess. They're different. That's all I can say. They are different. Very happy to find this book. It's a book that everybody keeps talking about so much lately, and when I saw it, it was pretty cheap, and it's the Game of Thrones. It's not as thick as the smaller paperbacks, but it's pretty damn thick. Like that zombie and anthology book that I just read was pretty thick like this, and yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take me to read something like that. I don't even know when I'm going to get to all these books. Like I said, I have so many books to read, and what I try to do is I'll borrow a few books from the library that, you know I immediately want to read, and then I'll read a few graphic novels, and then I always try to read like a book that I have in my collection, but I read those slower than the library books because I feel like I own it. I can take my time reading it. Like, I don't have to rush to return it, you know, if that makes any sense. But I like fantasy. I never used to read fantasy as much as I do now. Like, when I was much younger, I didn't really read all that much fantasy. But it's a different world, and sometimes, like, it depends on how well the author can write his version of his world. It depends on whether I'll like it or not. So I'm hoping I'm gonna like it. I've never seen the show, so I have nothing to base like anything on. I'm just going right into it. So I hope I will like that book. If you guys have read it, let me know what you think of it. Was it a really strenuous read? Was it really good? You know, let me know what you... Up last, I know I've shown this book in my In Your Pants video, but I figure, you know, I might talk about... I just got it for, you know, this haul, so, like, here it is. Another Harry Turtledove book, Settling Accounts, Return Engagement. It's another alternate history book about the First Great War, I guess you could say, or maybe it's the Second World War. But I have yet to read any Harry Turtledove, but I heard another booktuber talking about how great he is, and I have a couple other books that are in my to-be-read list. So when I saw this volume relatively cheap, I figured I would pick it up. I kind of like alternate history, although the alternate history I have read so far was like by, you know, a master, Philip K. Dick. I mean, he was a true master. And I like I said, I haven't read Harry Turtledove yet, but I have a couple of books in my collection to be read now. So I hope that one will be a good one. This is my thrift store book haul. Like I said, I don't usually do these, and if you're expecting like a review on something, I can't promise you anything because I do not know when I will get to these books. Like, I was just thinking not too long ago about a summer book haul I did back in 2012, and I'm just now reading a book from that. Like, now, it's been like, you know, months since I got those books, and I'm just now reading one of them. So, it's like I never know when I'm going to start reading.